August 2025. The heart of summer, a time when Europe usually bustles with festivals, vacations, and the gentle hum of life outdoors. But this year, the continent faces something unprecedented. A summer that feels endless, oppressive, and unforgiving. Europe is gripped by a deadly record-shattering heatwave. From the Atlantic coast to the Black Sea, a vast swath of land is blanketed in suffocating heat, with temperatures soaring to levels never before recorded in modern history. The hum of air conditioners and sirens fills the air. Cities that once thrived on outdoor cafes and lively plazas now echo with the constant drone of cooling systems and the urgent wail of emergency vehicles responding to heat-related crises. From Portugal to Hungary, millions endure temperatures soaring over 12 degrees above normal, straining emergency services and infrastructure. Hospitals are overwhelmed with cases of heat stroke and dehydration, while power grids groan under the relentless demand for electricity. This isn't a typical hot spell, it's a relentless meteorological siege, driven by a heat dome trapping hot, dry air across the continent. The heat dome acts like a lid, preventing cooler air from circulating and intensifying the already extreme conditions day after day. Cities become urban ovens, rural areas face wildfires, and the impacts ripple everywhere. Shrinking rivers, withering crops, and shattered records, the relentless sun turns once bustling streets into deserted stretches of shimmering asphalt, while the countryside contends with flames and drought. In southern Europe, firefighters battle infernos, their efforts heroic, but the scale of the blazes is overwhelming. Smoke chokes the skies and entire communities are forced to evacuate as flames threaten homes and livelihoods. In Central Europe, rivers dry up. Waterways that once supported commerce and life are reduced to cracked earth and trickling streams, disrupting transportation and water supplies for millions. Farther east, agriculture teeters on collapse. Fields that should be green and abundant are now parched and barren, leaving farmers desperate and food supplies at risk. This is a shared European crisis, a stark reminder of our vulnerability to extreme weather in a rapidly changing world. As the heat wave continues, communities must come together, adapt, and confront the new realities of a warming planet. To truly grasp the scale of the crisis unfolding across Europe, we first need to understand the phenomenon at its core: the heat dome. A heat dome is a massive, stubborn, high-pressure system that parks itself over a region, compressing the air beneath it and causing temperatures to soar. Imagine a giant, invisible lid placed over the continent, trapping hot air and preventing it from escaping. This isn't just a fleeting weather event, it's a powerful force that can linger for days or even weeks, amplifying the heat with each passing day. This lid effect traps heat close to the ground, blocking out cooler air masses and turning what might have been a warm spell into a relentless multi-week ordeal. Streets empty out as people seek shelter, playgrounds and parks become deserted under the punishing midday sun, and the city itself seems to shimmer with the intensity of the heat. The air grows heavier, and each day feels hotter than the last, with little hope for relief. The culprit behind this unyielding pattern is the jet stream, a fast-moving ribbon of air high in the atmosphere that usually guides weather systems across the globe. But when the jet stream buckles or stalls, it can lock a high-pressure ridge in place, as it has now over Europe. This stagnant system acts like a barrier, preventing storms and cooler air from breaking through, and leaving entire countries sweltering beneath its grip. Each day under the dome brings new records, with temperatures climbing higher and higher. But the danger doesn't end when the sun sets. Nights offer little respite, as overnight lows remain alarmingly high. Without the usual cooling, bodies struggle to recover and the risk of heat-related illnesses grows. People toss and turn in stifling bedrooms, fans running at full blast, while city streets radiate the day's heat well into the night. The consequences ripple outward. Energy demand skyrockets as air conditioners and fans run non-stop, straining power grids to their limits. Farmland suffers as soil moisture evaporates rapidly, threatening crops and water supplies. Wildfires ignite more easily and spread faster, fueled by the parched landscape and relentless sun. Firefighters battle blazes that seem impossible to contain, while communities brace for the next emergency. What makes a heat dome especially dangerous is its persistence. Day after day, the sun rises on a city already baking, and the cycle of intensifying heat continues. People seek shade wherever they can, but relief is fleeting. The relentless nature of the heat dome means that the risks compound over time, putting vulnerable populations, like the elderly, children, and those with health conditions, at even greater risk. This is not just a rare weather anomaly, it's a stark warning of what's to come as our climate continues to change. Scientists point to these extreme events as evidence of a warming world, where heat domes may become more frequent and more intense. Across Europe, people are demanding action, holding up signs and calling for urgent solutions as they witness firsthand the impacts of a changing climate. The immediate consequences are impossible to ignore. Rising health risks as hospitals fill with patients suffering from heat exhaustion and dehydration, and infrastructure pushed to the brink. Public transport becomes stifling, and emergency services are stretched thin as they respond to heat-related crises across cities and rural areas alike. Europe finds itself on edge as communities come together to cope with the crisis. Supermarket shelves empty as people stock up on essentials, and relief centers fill with those seeking refuge from the heat. The heat dome is a powerful reminder of our vulnerability, and a call to prepare for a future where such extremes may become the new normal. Southern Europe, Spain, Portugal, Italy, Greece, faces the brunt of the heat wave, with temperatures above 44 degrees and wildfires raging. Parched landscapes ignite easily. Over 400,000 hectares have burned, forcing mass evacuations and overwhelming emergency services. Spain alone has lost over 1,500 square kilometers of forest, with fires threatening towns and villages. The human toll is mounting. Fatalities from both fire and heat, including children, highlight the crisis. Red alerts blanket major cities, health systems brace for surges, and water supplies dwindle as drought worsens. Farmers watch crops die, governments consider rationing, and the region stands as the front line of Europe's climate emergency. Southern Europe's reality is now a warning for us all. Central Europe, France, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, faces its own historic heat, with records falling and hot nights offering no relief. In southwest France, 40% of weather stations topped 40 degrees in a single day, shattering records in cities like Bordeaux. Nights remain dangerously warm, straining bodies and power grids as demand for cooling soars. Public life slows, health warnings spread, and infrastructure buckles under the heat. Urban environments, built for milder climates, struggle to adapt, while anxiety and fatigue grow with each relentless day. The summer of 2025 is a wake-up call. No part of Europe is immune to the new climate reality. Eastern Europe and the Balkans, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, Croatia, are also breaking temperature records and battling wildfires. Cities like Budapest and Siebennik swelter near 40 degrees, making daily life and tourism hazardous. Agriculture suffers as drought and heat deplete soil moisture, threatening harvests and food security. Water shortages hit river transport and hydroelectric power, while wildfires force evacuations along the Adriatic coast. The region's vulnerability is clear. Longer, hotter summers are no longer rare, but the new normal. Governments and citizens must now prepare for more frequent severe heat waves. The message is urgent. Adaptation and resilience are no longer optional. Behind the headlines, the human cost of heat waves is often invisible. Tens of thousands die each year, especially the most vulnerable. The elderly, with less efficient temperature regulation and chronic health issues, are at highest risk, especially if isolated or immobile. Children, especially infants, dehydrate quickly and depend on caregivers for protection. Those with chronic illnesses, outdoor workers, and people in poorly ventilated housing face heightened danger. Urban heat islands trap warmth overnight, turning homes into heat traps. Recognizing and supporting these groups is critical to preventing tragedy. Community vigilance can save lives during extreme heat. In a heat wave, knowledge and preparation are vital. Everyone must take responsibility to stay safe. Stay hydrated, drink water regularly, avoid alcohol and caffeine, and eat water-rich foods. Seek cool environments during peak heat. Use public spaces if needed, keep homes shaded, and ventilate at night. Take cool showers, wear light clothing, and avoid strenuous activity during the hottest hours. Stay informed, monitor forecasts, know the signs of heat illness, and act quickly if symptoms appear. Check on vulnerable neighbors and family. Sometimes a call or visit can save a life. Simple actions, taken seriously, can prevent emergencies. Community awareness is our best defense. The 2025 heat wave is not a fluke. It's a direct result of human-driven climate change. This isn't just another hot summer, it's a clear signal that our planet's climate system is fundamentally shifting. The relentless heat blanketing cities and countryside alike is a symptom of a much larger problem, one that scientists have warned about for decades. As global temperatures rise, extreme heat events become more frequent, intense, and prolonged. What we're experiencing now is the direct consequence of greenhouse gases trapping more heat in our atmosphere, disrupting weather patterns and making once rare events disturbingly common. What was once rare is now common. More than half of France's major heat waves since 1947 have occurred in the last 15 years. This dramatic increase isn't just a statistical anomaly, it's a direct reflection of how quickly our climate is changing. The data is undeniable. Summers are getting hotter, and heat waves are arriving more often and lasting longer than ever before. This is part of a global pattern. Arctic, Canada, Iraq, all breaking records simultaneously. From the melting ice of the far north to the scorched landscapes of the Middle East, no region is immune. These extremes are not isolated incidents but interconnected events driven by the same underlying force, a warming planet. The heat dome itself is likely to become a regular feature as the jet stream changes with a warming planet. Shifts in atmospheric circulation trap hot air over regions for days or even weeks, amplifying the impacts of heat waves and making them harder to escape. The summer of 2025 is a warning, a glimpse of our future unless emissions are rapidly reduced. Our daily lives, food systems, and health are all at risk if we fail to act. The choices we make now will determine whether these extreme summers become the new normal. Climate change's fingerprint is unmistakable on this event. The evidence is everywhere, in the charred forests, the dried-up rivers, and the relentless heat that refuses to break. Scientists can now link specific heat waves to climate change with increasing confidence, showing us just how urgent the crisis has become. The time to act is now. We have the knowledge, the technology, and the power to change course. By reducing emissions, investing in clean energy, and demanding bold climate action, we can protect our communities and preserve a livable planet for future generations. As the heat wave subsides, we cannot return to business as usual. This must be a turning point for Europe. The crisis has exposed vulnerabilities in our cities, agriculture, and health systems. We need proactive adaptation, more green spaces, updated building codes, and resilient infrastructure. Public health campaigns and community networks must become standard, with clear protocols for schools and outdoor workers. Adaptation is essential but not enough. We must tackle climate change at its root. The summer of 2025 is a call for urgent action, stronger policies, clean energy, and a shared commitment to reduce emissions. Incremental change is no longer enough. The message is clear. Listen, adapt, and act with urgency.